Away from wars between nations, French President Emmanuel Macron has defended a decision to grant fast-track citizenship to inducted Telegram CEO Pavel Durov. Speaking at a news conference during a visit to Serbia, Mr. Macron said granting nationality to high-profile figures who learn French and contribute to the nation is good for his nation. Well, let's get some more updates on the ban now on the founder of Telegram from actually leaving Paris. And joining us is Timmy Olagunju. He is a tech lawyer. Mr. Olagunju, good to have you join us on World Now. But this is unprecedented. Arresting the owner of a social media platform because of the way in which that platform is being used. In the eye of the law, what does the law say about this?
Well, the law basically, in terms of the French law, right, allows for the French government to be able to issue a court-ordered, particularly emphasis on the court-ordered warrant, or request for an individual that is perceived to have committed a crime, or to be able to arrest such individuals or hold that such individuals is called precautionary warrant or measure. However, there are different angles to this particular issue that also speaks to international law as regards issues around freedom of movement, and also goes into the context of free speech.
All right. And we know that the allegations against Mr. Durov now include complicity in the administration of an online platform to enable illicit transactions, refusal to communicate with authorities, complicity, and all of that going on. But then, how do you see, how severe really could the consequences be for him?
Well, this is somewhat an issue that will be put to the test. We've not had in any time a situation where an individual who is the CEO of a platform is somewhat not just arrested, but also convicted of, a crime for actions that were committed by the users of his or her platform. So this is like, a litmus test to such an endeavor as it stands. But the issue with Patov, it's basically beyond the degree of the issue of, Telegram being a platform that allows criminal activities to flourish as alleged by the French government. But it also speaks to the issue of the degree of cooperation. As you know, historically, Patov has a reputation in court for being against censorship and also not willing to release data that has to do with users to authorities, whether even in his own country of birth, Russia. He was on exile from Russia primarily because the Russian government requested for censorship and data of certain users of Telegram, which he particularly stood against. So it's basically something like his personal principles as to that. Look, I do not believe that platforms should censor or release data or cooperate with governments based on their whims or caprice and requests. So it's a very, very interesting debate. You've had issues in India, in France, in France, and even in Iran and some other countries requesting, Telegram to provide certain information, user data, key, and all that to them so that they can have access to certain users, which Patov stands again as a master of principle. But you must understand that Telegram is a unique platform. Telegram itself is not encrypted by default, right? So when you go on Telegram and you use it, it is not encrypted. But there's something called private or secret chats. That particular platform, when you switch by choice, it becomes encrypted. And so the context here is not as to the general user information, but information on such private, perceivably private chat rooms that are encrypted, which Mr. Petov earlier in previous interviews had claimed he did not have access to, because the idea of encryption or cryptography in that sense is basically that third parties cannot have access to the information or share of information between parties that are in an interaction. Right. So that really is the kind of debate here.
All right, Mr. Olagunjo, I really did hope that we could have more time to dwell on this, but then perhaps we'll create time in the days ahead. Thank you so much. Timi Olagunjo is a tech lawyer. Thank you so much for talking to us on World Now.
Thank you for having me.